Have you ever really stopped to think about what happens in that split second after you tap your card or deposit a check? Well, behind the curtain, there's this hidden battle, a conflict that's been shaping the world of banking for decades. And today, we're going to dive deep into that conflict, the Great Processing Divide.
And yeah, that's not just a catchy phrase. For most of modern history, the entire world of finance, all of our money, it moved to a very specific and predictable beat, a rhythm that decided when your money was actually yours. And this was the rhythm. It was a simple two-step dance. During the day, when the bank was open, it was all about collecting information. But the real heavy lifting, oh, that happened long after everyone went home, through a process that basically defined an entire era of finance. So this whole nightly ritual, it has a name, and for a very, very long time, it was the undisputed king of data processing. It's called batch processing. So what in the world is it?
You know, it's kind of like doing all your laundry for the entire week in one giant load. Instead of washing one shirt at a time, you wait. You let everything pile up. And then you run one massive, super efficient cycle to get it all done at once. That's batch processing.
And you got to understand this flow because it's everything. All day long, the bank is just taking notes, right? Collecting every single deposit, every withdrawal. Then the doors lock, the lights go out, and these enormous computer jobs whir to life, crunching all those numbers and updating the official records, the ledgers, so that everything is shiny and new for the next morning.
And this right here, this really gets to the heart of the trade-off. On the one hand, this method is incredibly efficient. It's stable, you run one big job, it's predictable, it just works. But the downside is huge. Nothing is instant. The balance you see in your account isn't necessarily your real balance in that exact moment.
This quote just perfectly captures what it felt like for everybody. This was the reality for generations of people. You'd go deposit a check, but that money wouldn't really be there until that nightly batch job was all finished. It created this weird gap between what you just did and your actual financial reality. But then, the world started to speed up a lot. The internet happened. Mobile phones popped up in everyone's pocket. And all of us, we developed this new need for speed, a demand for immediacy that the old nightly rhythm just couldn't keep up with. This was the beginning of the real-time revolution. And listen, these new systems didn't just change the game, they flipped the whole table over. All of a sudden, the idea of waiting until tomorrow for your money to show up felt ancient, totally unacceptable. A brand new expectation was born. Now, this is the complete opposite of batch. With real-time processing, the second a transaction happens, the system is on it. There's no waiting around, no collecting data in a big pile, no nightly job, just instant action and immediate feedback. I mean, the difference is just stark. We go from updates that are measured in hours to updates measured in milliseconds. The experience for us, the user, goes from, I'll check back tomorrow, to, wow, it's already there. The catch, though, is the complexity. Building these instant systems, well, that's a much, much bigger challenge for engineers. Just think about the stuff you probably use every single day. That mobile banking app on your phone that shows your balance down to the second? That's real time. Sending money to a friend and they get it before you can even put your phone down? Yep, real time. And that super helpful text message from your bank asking if you just bought something weird? That's live fraud detection, and it's only possible thanks to real-time processing.
So, you're probably thinking, okay, so banks just tossed out all the old batch systems and went all in on real time, right? But the reality is actually way more interesting. We're living in a hybrid world. As you can see from this timeline, it wasn't like flipping a switch. For decades, batch was the only game in town. Then, in the 90s, as new tech came along, banks started building these hybrid systems, slowly adding in real-time features. The big push to make the absolute core of the bank a real-time system, that's actually a pretty recent thing. And this is pretty much how most big banks work today. They use the fast real-time systems for anything that you, the customer, touch. Your app, your transfers, your fraud alerts. But behind the scenes, that old rhythm is still beating. Those rock-solid, super efficient batch systems are still firing up every night to do the heavy lifting of balancing the books and creating massive reports. And this brings us right to the core of the whole issue. This isn't just about picking the right tool for the job anymore. It's about business strategy. It's about a much deeper question of what a bank truly values the most. And this quote just nails it. The choice between these two rhythms, it really shows a fundamental tension right in the heart of the financial industry, a tension that completely affects how they compete and how they innovate.
So, on one side, you've got this philosophy of legacy and stability, the idea that a bank should be like a fortress, slow, deliberate, and absolutely unbreakable. On the other side, you've got the philosophy of agility and immediacy, the one being pushed by all these nimble new competitors. The idea that a bank should be like a smartphone app, fast, responsive, and always on.
Ultimately, it's a constant tightrope walk. Every single financial institution is trying to navigate this divide, trying to be as stable as a fortress, but as fast as an app. And how they choose to blend these two opposing forces, well, that is going to define the future of how all of us interact with our money.